Did you know you might be leaving hundreds of dollars in food assistance on the table every month? In 2025, a family of four could receive up to $975 in SNAP benefits, and many people don't realize they qualify. In the next few minutes, I am going to break down exactly how to get food stamps, who is eligible, and some surprising things that you can buy. Like, did you know you can use your EBT card for Amazon Prime at a discount, or even buy plants to grow your own food? Whether you're applying for food stamps for the first time or helping a friend or a family member, this video will save you time, stress, and possibly get you approved faster. Plus, I will share some insider tips that most people don't know. So hit that subscribe button and let's dive in, because everyone deserves access to healthy food, and I'm going to show you how you can get food stamps and make that happen right now. So let's get to it. So I'm going to talk about food stamps eligibility and how to apply and much, much more. The first thing is, here is the list of things I am going to share today. I am going to talk about SNAP basics, eligibility requirements, citizenship and documentation, how to apply, work requirements, benefit calculations so that you know how much you're going to get, where to use your benefits, eligible purchases, restrictions, and important information. All that is coming right up. So what is food stamps? Well, Federal Nutrition Assistance Programs managed by USDA. It helps low-income households purchase nutritious food. Benefits are provided every month by an electronic benefits transfer card called EBT, and the program is formerly known as food stamps, as you may know already. It serves up to 42 million people each month. Believe it or not, 42 million people are on food stamps every single month. It's designed to reduce poverty and hunger and promote healthy eating. That's the part that a lot of people don't realize. And you don't have to pay the money back. It's not a loan. It's a benefit to you. It's an entitlement program that the government offers to people based on income need, income qualification. And benefits are adjusted annually because of inflation. There's something called the cost of living adjustment, which is done every year for food stamps. So let's jump into the detail. The first thing I want to talk about is income limit. If there's an important requirement, the most important requirement to qualify for food stamps is the income limit. There is the gross income limit, and then there is the net income limit. The gross income limit is basically how much you make a month or your family income, and the net income limit is your gross income minus allowable deductions. This is the federal minimum standard. So your state may have a more generous limit, but this is the bottom. This is the basic minimum that the government requires, the USDA requires. So for gross income, a family of one, you need $1,632, and for a family of two, $2,215, a family of three, $2,798, a family of four, $3,380, a family of five, $3,963, and so forth and so on. It means that you cannot make more than this gross income in your household to qualify for food stamps. Net income for a family of one is $1,255. For a family of two is $1,704. A family of three is $2,152. A family of four is $2,600. A family of five is $3,049, and so forth and so on. It means that after your gross income and allowable deductions have been taken from your gross income, this is the net income you need to qualify for benefits, and you cannot make more than that based on your household size. This is the most important criteria for food stamps, so pay attention to it because it is pretty much the driving factor for everything. And obviously, Alaska and Hawaii have a different income limit table. So what I just shared with you is for the 48 lower states, the District of Columbia, Guam, and the U.S. Virgin Islands for those that are eligible. What are deductions, or what else should you be thinking about? Well, your gross income is your total income before deductions. Your net income is your gross income minus allowable deductions. Some households may be eligible for higher income if you have an elderly or disabled member in your house. So that is important to note. And here are some of the standard deductions. 20% earned income deduction across the board. Child care expenses, medical expenses over $34 if you are disabled or elderly, and housing costs cannot exceed 50% of your net income. So that is another critical information you should know. So these are the deductions for this year going into 2025. A household of one, the standard deduction is $204. A household of two is $204. A household of three, a household of 1 and 2 is $204. A household of 3 is $204. A household of 4 is $217. A household of 5 is $254. And a household of 6 plus is $291. Obviously, for Alaska, Hawaii, Guam, and Virgin Islands, you have different standard deductions across the board. Next, let's talk about shelter deductions. For the 48 states and DC is $712. And as you can see, it's different from Alaska, Hawaii, Guam, and Virgin Islands. And the maximum homeless shelter deductions is $190.30 across the board. So if you're homeless, you can still apply for food stamps, and there's a standard shelter deductions that you also get to deduct based on your income. Let's talk about asset limit. Most states still have resources or asset limit. The general limit is $3,000 for most households and $4,500 if you have an elderly or disabled person in your household. And elderly is 60 years plus. What are resources? What counts towards resources? Your checking and savings accounts, the money that is in there, cash you have on hand, stocks and bonds, and your second vehicle. What doesn't count towards your resource and asset limits? The home you live in, primary vehicle, personal belongings, most retirement accounts like 401k and IRAs, life insurance policies, education savings accounts, income tax refunds, 12 months from receipt, and ABLE accounts. Now, to qualify for food stamps, you need to meet residency citizenship requirements. Here are the people that are eligible: U.S. citizens, U.S. nationals, and legal permanent residents who have received their legal status 5 years or more. Also, there are certain qualified immigrant groups that can get food stamps: refugees, people who are on asylum, Cuban and Haitian entrants, trafficking victims, Iraqi Afghan special immigrants, certain American immigrants, and military members and veterans and their families, and children under 18 of qualified immigrants. All these people are eligible or may be eligible for food stamps. You have to check the specific requirements for your group. When you apply, you need to show documentation. You have to show proof of identity, immigration documents, your social security number. Obviously, that's going to be used to qualify you, and your birth certificate if applicable. All these documents are required, and when you go for your food stamps interview, you'll be required to present these documents to the authorities. Now, let's talk about interview. Food stamps interviews are required, and they take many forms. You have an initial interview, which is mandatory for all applicants, and it can be conducted by phone, in most cases, in person, or via video in states that allow video interviews for food stamps. It usually happens within 1 to 2 weeks after you've submitted a completed application. So what do you have to bring to the interview? If you're eligible for a food stamps interview, what do you have to bring to that interview? Whether it's by phone, in person, or online, photo ID is required, social security numbers for all members of your household, proof of income, last 30 days, a pay stub, benefit letter, child support documentation, proof of residence, a lease agreement, mortgage statement, utility bill, medical bills if you're elderly or disabled, childcare expenses that you may have incurred, and immigration documents if applicable. If you're not a U.S. citizen and you're applying, you need to show your immigration documents. And then here is the thing. When you get food stamps, that is not the end of the story. You have to periodically renew your food stamps. It's called recertification, and usually happens between 6 to 12 months depending on your status. And you will also have to go through an interview again, similar to the interview you had, so that they can make sure that everything that you submitted in your recertification application, it's really on point and fits into the requirements and guidelines for food stamps benefits. So how do you apply for food stamps? Well, there are several ways to apply. You can apply online. Most states allow you to apply on their website. Most also have the convenient option that is available online, and you can save your work while you apply so you don't have to do everything at once. You can apply in person in your local SNAP office in your county, and there are some organizations that may help you apply for SNAP benefits. A lot of the food banks, Feeding America, for example, a lot of the food bank locations help you apply for food stamps. And there are a lot of nonprofits that also support and help you apply for food stamps. And they can also help you get your questions answered and also help you figure out what documents you need to submit and whether the documents that you have meet the requirements for applying. And of course, you can also apply by mail by downloading an application online, mail it to your local food stamps office. And for those who don't have internet, this is a good option. You can also apply by phone. In certain states, you can call the SNAP hotline. They'll take your application over the phone, and then you can submit your documentation at a later date. So that is how you apply for food stamps. Now let's jump into how long does it take? A lot of people have questions about, okay, I've applied. When am I going to get my benefits? How long is it going to take? Well, it should take a standard 30 days or less. That's the USDA requirements. If you've submitted a complete application, it should take 30 days or less. However, there are certain groups that can get food stamps within 7 days. If you are very low income, less than $150 monthly income and less than $100 in resources, or you have combined income resources less than the monthly housing cost, you may be eligible to get food stamps within 7 days. So, how much would you get in food stamps? This is the big question that a lot of people have, so I'm going to help you answer it. It is based on your household size, and what you see on the screen is the maximum benefit allocation for DC and the 48 lower states. So remember, this is maximum benefit. Your benefit, the one you would receive, may be different based on your own circumstances. So going into 2025, for a household of one, it is $292. A household of two, $536. A household of three, $768. A household of four, $975. A household of five, $1,158. A household of six, $1,390. A household of seven, $1,536. A household of eight, $1,756. And beyond a household of eight, you just need to add $220, and you can get how much you are likely to receive if you qualify for the maximum benefit allowable. Now, moving on, as I said, the table I showed you was for the lower 48 states and DC. Alaska has a different table based on where you live, whether you live in a rural area or urban area. The table you see on the screen shows you how much you're going to get. A family of one living in an urban area is going to get $377 as maximum benefit. If you live in rural area 1, $481, rural area 2, $586. Why is it higher? Because it costs a lot more to live in Alaska. A family of two is going to get $692. If you live in rural area 1, you're going to get $882. And if you live in rural area 2, $1,074. And so on and so forth. Now let's talk about Hawaii. Hawaii is one of the places where also the cost of living is high. So a household of one is going to get $517 as maximum benefit. A household of two, $948, and so forth and so on. Now, a lot of seniors have been applying for food stamps, and they've been saying that they've only been getting the minimum amount. And the reason is that you're probably making more money, and so you don't fit the eligibility requirement to receive the maximum benefit or even the average benefit. But you do qualify for the minimum benefit. That's why you're getting the minimum. I know that is not a good thing for a lot of people to hear, but that's the reality, is that the income limit kicks out a lot of seniors off food stamps, which is actually sad because a lot of seniors actually need food stamps because they are on fixed income. But here's the minimum benefits. For the lower 48 and DC is $23. If you live in Guam, it's $35. Virgin Islands is $30. Alaska Urban $30. Alaska Rural 1 $39. Alaska Rural 2 $47, and Hawaii is $41. This is the minimum benefit you can get if you are approved for food stamps. Now let's get into the weeds a little bit on how is food stamps calculated. The benefit amount you finally receive, how did they arrive at that? Well, they take your net income, and it's 30% of your net income because the government says you have to use 30% of your, they estimate if you're on low income, you use 30% of your money for food. And so it's based on 30% of your net income, and then the maximum benefit that is allocated. So basically, let me show you how to figure this out. Let's say you're a family of one, and you are getting $292 as your maximum benefit. That doesn't mean that you're going to get that. That's the maximum benefit you're eligible for. So let's say that they calculated your net income and it's $1,000. Well, 30% of your net income is $300. And so now they take the maximum benefit and they take away 30% of your net income, and it means you don't qualify. So let's say that your net income is $500, and then they take the maximum benefit out of that, and then they're gonna arrive at your amount that you're gonna receive. So all you have to do is figure out your maximum benefit for your household, figure out your net income, take 30% of your net income, and then take the maximum benefit and deduct it from your net income, the 30%, and then that's how you arrive at how much you're going to get. I know it's a confusing math, but it's also a very simple math. You just need three numbers: 30% of your net income, what your maximum benefit is, and then take your maximum benefit and subtract your net income, the 30% portion, and then you arrive at how much you're going to get in food stamps benefit. If you have any questions about that, let me know in the comment section below. If that was confusing to you, there are calculators online that may help you do that. So, moving on. Where can you use your SNAP benefit? Where can you use your food stamps benefit? Well, major grocery stores, supermarkets, convenience stores, farmers market. There's something called double up. I'm going to talk about that in a second. Community supported agriculture, some co-ops, and specialty grocery stores. So let's look at that. Other places you have to look at is online. They've approved retailers that you can use your food stamps online to buy groceries for delivery to your home. Amazon Prime has Amazon Prime Access. I'm going to talk about that in a second. Walmart has Walmart Plus Assist that allows you to shop and get some benefits with your EBT card. Aldi and many other participating stores. You can also use DoorDash or Instacart. They accept food stamps where they will go to the grocery store and shop for you based on what you select and bring it to you. So that's another option for using your food stamps. Now I mentioned double up. This is a farmers market program. It's also in some grocery stores. There's farmers market match, senior farmers market match programs in several states. And there's a simple way to find retailers that accept food stamps. I'm going to show you in a second. But let's talk about the Double Up Bucks program. This is a program that doubles your food stamps for produce. If you use your EBT card at select farmers market and you buy produce, for every $1 produce you buy, you get $1 of produce free. That is amazing. Up to $20, up to $30 per visit in some states. So each time you visit a farmer's market and you buy $20 of fruits and vegetables, you're going to get $20 in fruits and vegetables for free in participating markets that are part of this program. It's available in every state. If you're not using it, you're leaving money on the table. Contact your food stamps agency to find out a list of all the double up food box programs in your state. It may be called something different in your state, but this one is in majority of the states. So don't sleep on this one. Next, let's talk about how to find a food stamps retailer near you. All you have to do is go to this address, this web address, fns.usda.gov/snap/retailer-locator, and it will bring you to this page. And once you're on this page, you're going to see this particular button that I've highlighted to enter SNAP retailer locations. You're going to put in your zip code, your city, and it will pull all the SNAP locations that are immediately next to you. So, what can you buy with your food stamps? Well, generally, you can buy fresh, frozen, and canned foods for home preparation. Fruits and vegetables, poultry and fish, meats, dairy products, bread and cereals, snacks, non-alcoholic beverages. You can also buy seeds and plants that produce food, like vegetable seeds, herbs, and fruit trees. All those are eligible with your EBT card. But here's a detailed look at what you can buy with your food stamps. Fruits and vegetables, fresh produce, canned fruits, frozen vegetables, dried fruits. Protein, meat, poultry, fish, eggs, beans, nuts and seeds. Milk, dairy products, milk, cheese, yogurt, and plant-based alternatives. Grains, bread, cereals, pasta, and rice. Others, baby food, snack foods, non-alcoholic beverages, cooking oils, baking ingredients, and of course, seeds and plants for growing food, ice for food storage, dietary supplements that are primarily food. And I'll talk about that in a second. So that's a list of things you can buy with your food stamps. Now, there are things you cannot buy with your food stamps. I'm going to talk about that in a quick second, but let's talk about the surprising things that you can buy with your food stamps that a lot of people did not know about. Online shopping, obviously, you can use your food stamps to buy. Almost every retailer now, almost every grocery store now allows you to buy food online and have it delivered to you using your EBT card. Obviously, delivery fees are not covered, so you have to pay for that on your own. And what are some of the items that people didn't know you can buy with your food stamps? Seeds and plants for growing food. I mentioned that. Live seafood, lobsters, shellfish. Now, a lot of people get bent out of shape about people on food stamps being able to buy lobsters and shellfish, but here's the thing. I can guarantee you this. People on food stamps are not spending their money buying lobsters. Even if they can, there are so many essential things in front of them, they are not doing that. So don't get too bent out of shape about that. Cold coffee drinks and energy drinks with nutrition facts label on them. If it's a supplement label, you cannot use it. You cannot buy it. It has to have nutrition facts label. Bakery items and gift baskets, if 50% of it, the cost, is food. So if you buy a gift basket, 50% of the stuff in it have to be food, or the cost of it. Baby formula and food, protein powder shakes with nutrition label. Again, you can buy protein powders and shakes, but they have to have nutrition label on it. Water and ice, restaurant meals. There's something called the restaurant meals program. I'm going to do a whole different video talking about that. But the restaurant meals program allows you to buy hot food at restaurants, fast food places with your EBT card. And then, of course, hunting and fishing gear. If you're only in Alaska, in a remote area, you're allowed to use your EBT card to buy hunting and fishing gear because it's a big source of your food, or for some people, it is. Alright, so moving on. Here are some quick tips you should know. If you are using your EBT card, items must be meant for home preparation and consumption. That's very important. Food can be cold or unprepared, but not hot or prepared food for immediate consumption. Cooking staples like oil, spices, and flour are also covered. Now here's the basic rule. If it's edible and non-alcoholic, tobacco or hot food, you can usually buy it with your food stamps. Again, if it's edible and not alcohol, tobacco, or hot prepared food, generally you can buy it with your food stamps. So that's a good rule of thumb to remember. Now here are the things you cannot buy with your food stamps, and you can go to jail for doing this. The retailer system should not permit you to buy these things with your food stamps. Some people have found a way to get around it, but the government takes this very seriously, and you could be prosecuted. You could lose your food stamps benefit forever. Alcoholic beverages, tobacco products, hot prepared food, food meant to be eaten in the store, pet food, paper products, cleaning supplies, hygiene items, medicines, vitamins, live animals except shellfish and fish removed from water, animals slaughtered prior to pickup. Those are the only exceptions to the rule. You cannot do it. Now let's move on. Let's talk about work requirements. If you are on food stamps and you are an adult without children or dependents, you may have to meet the work requirements. So there are two types: the general work requirements for ages 16 to 59, and then the adult without children or dependents, and it's the able-bodied adults without dependents, ABAWD, for age 18 and 52, starting in October 1st, 2024, which has already passed. All adults without, able-bodied adults without dependents, the rule applies to people ages 18 to 54. So what are these rules I'm talking about? Let's jump into it. Well, you have to register to work, the general requirements, participate in SNAP employment training if assigned, accept suitable job offers, means that you cannot turn down jobs if you're offered, and maintain up to 30 hours a week of work to get food stamps. Now, exemptions: if you're already working 30 hours a week, meeting other work requirement programs, you're caring for a child under 6 or incapacitated person, you have physical or mental limitations, drug or alcohol treatment program participant, or you are a student who is at least half-time or more. Now, if you don't meet these requirements, you may lose your benefits, and repeated violations may result in permanent disqualification from the food stamps program. Now, if you're an adult without dependents, your requirements are much more stricter. You have to have paid employment at least 80 hours a month, or do volunteer work. You work in a work participation program, work fair program, combination of the above to get your 80 hours. If you're exempted from these hours if you have mental or physical limitations, you're pregnant, your household with a member under 18, veterans, homeless individuals, foster care youth 24 or younger, and you meet general work requirement exemptions. There's a limit. If you don't meet these requirements, you cannot receive SNAP for more than 3 months in a 3-year period. So this is very, very serious. So if you want to continue to receive your food stamps as an able-bodied adult without dependents, you have to meet these work requirements, and you have to meet it 30 days to regain eligibility for your food stamps if your food stamps are taken away. So here are some important things to keep in mind. When it comes to food stamps, keep your EBT card pin secure. Report lost or EBT. If your EBT card gets lost or stolen, report it immediately, because that is on a rise. People are stealing others' EBT cards, and it's a growing problem. Your benefits do roll over month to month, but after a 12-month period, without using the entire anything on your EBT card, you may lose your benefit. Some states have additional restrictions, so make sure that you check in with your states for their specific requirements, eligibility requirements for food stamps. They may have stricter work requirements. They may have stricter eligibility requirements. Selling or trading your food stamps is illegal. It could land you in jail. And as I mentioned, some states allow you to use your food stamps at restaurants and some fast food locations. If you're part of the restaurant meals program, you have to be elderly, disabled, or homeless to participate. So, that is all I have to share with you today. If you are new to this channel, please hit the subscribe button. If you like what you heard, please like it so that more people will see this video. And until the next video, thank you for watching.